Hey, welcome to Just Guitar Talk. Happy Sunday to everybody. So I wanted to do an episode today where I talk about Fender Strats and I talk about my Fender Strat. So this is my current Fender Strat. This is an American Performer Stratocaster that I got off of Reverb. I got it at a really good price and it was like only around $1,000 or so. This is my first American-made Strat. And I've always wanted an American-made Strat, but I haven't been able to afford one. But thanks to Reverb, you can really get some great deals and some good guitars for not a whole lot of money. And this is actually it's the store demo model, but there's not a scratch on it, and it's fantastic. So I did some mods to it, and I do mods to every guitar I've ever gotten, pretty much. I don't think I've ever kept anything stock, but I got a tortoiseshell pickguard from Warmouth. I love tortoiseshell. Although I did like the mint pickguard that came with this thing. It was actually really nice looking, but I just always got to have tortoiseshell pickguards on my guitars for some reason. I just love it. And I got rid of the volume knob right here. So, well, I still have the volume, but it's just a master volume, master tone. So I always hit my hand on this volume, and I don't use both tones. I barely use this one tone right here, actually. I just kind of have everything on full blast pretty much. Every once in a while, I might roll off on the tone when I'm using the bridge pickup for like a really distorted tone. Or, yeah, that's pretty much it. And I pretty much have the volume all the way up. Either it's on or it's off. I might roll off very slightly every once in a while. Generally, I play with volume on my humbucker equipped guitars, and so not so much on Strats. So I have, master volume, master tone, and I actually kept the switch that adds the neck pickup in bridge position, and also can put it in the bridge and middle. Kind of gives it that telly in between sound. It's pretty cool. I mean, this is the bridge. And this is the bridge. If I pop in the neck here, kind of adds that Telecaster in between sound a little bit. I don't use it very often, but it's there if I want to. So that's kind of cool. I also had to put locking tuners on there because you just gotta have locking tuners, and I can't be bothered messing around with the vintage tuners. I mean, they look cool, they look classic, but they're just kind of a pain in the ass to me. I really like kind of a vintage aesthetic with modern features. Speaking of modern features, I took out the Yosemite pickups and I put in the brand new Fender Ultra noiseless hot pickups. Now, I actually bought these without ever trying them out. I had the first version of the Fender hot noiseless pickups that were developed for Jeff Beck. I put them in a Washburn guitar that I had, and I thought they were awesome. They sounded fantastic. Quiet, great with high gain, but also gave you a really good single coil sound. I was gonna put them in this, but I A/B'd them with my Yosemites, and I'm like, the Yosemites had really good single coil sound that the first generation of the noiseless hot pickups didn't have. So I went on the hunt for some different pickups I could put in here, and I was going to get some Mojo Tone quiet coils. I actually saw some great YouTube videos about those pickups, the 67 ones specifically. The 50s ones sounded great too, but I was kind of going for like a more 60s vibe. And I was actually going to put a Seymour Duncan Red Devil pickup right here in the bridge. So it's going to be kind of an HSS situation. The Red Devil is a humbucker that fits in a single coil. So it would be that, the Seymour Duncan Red Devil, and then the Mojo Tone quiet coils in the middle and neck position. But there was a problem with the order, and I never got my Mojo Tones. Reverb took care of it, so that was cool. And then I just ended up selling the Seymour Duncan Red Devil. So I never got to try it out, although I hear, or it says that it's pretty much a Pearly Gates but in single coil size. And I actually have pearly gates on my Washburn, and I love them. And then so after that went wrong, I was like thinking about it. I'm like, well, I already have like pearly gate sounding pickups in my other guitars, so maybe I want something different in these. And then I saw that Fender put out brand new ultra noiseless pickups, and they have a vintage version and they have a hot version. And I'm like, wow, that sounds pretty cool. I mean, I played a couple of the ultra strats, and I really liked them, but I didn't try the ultra hot pickups, and there was no reviews on them. So I decided to go for it. It was $200, which is actually really good if you think about it. If you were to get a set of noiseless pickups from even like Seymour Duncan, that would end up costing, close to $300. Really nice ones from like Kinman or anywhere else, that would have been around $300. Zex Coil, all those places. So I just went for it, and I love these Fender pickups. I think they're awesome. I just like having everything Fender too. You know what I mean? It actually says Fender on the pickups, and Fender and the thing, and it says like the little F's on the locking tuners. It's just like Fender everywhere. So I like that, and they're awesome. Just kind of go through like neck and middle, and I actually love the middle pickup. That sounds pretty cool. We got the middle and bridge, and then the bridge. These are hot, so you might want to hear these like a little, this was gain. It's pretty good for a single coil pickup. It holds up well with the more gainier stuff. I prefer a maple fretboard on a Strat. But I like this rosewood. It's good. I really, really like it. I was actually thinking about maybe replacing it at some point, but I really like this headstock. I really like the fretboard. I think it's cool. I think it looks great with the whole setup and everything. I love a large headstock on a Strat. I think it looks so much better than the traditional headstock. It just looks better. It feels good to have something, right at the end there. And I don't know, I dig it. I think it's way cooler. You got bigger logos right in your face. I just think it's way cooler. I will get a Strat with a maple neck at some point. I have dreams of making a Warmoth Strat. I had a Warmoth Strat a long time ago, and it was the first Parscaster that I ever did, and I went nuts. Anything that I could do, I did do. I had like, Floyd Rose, a bunch of push pulls, humbucker, single, humbucker with coil splits, and all these different wiring things, and I had an F-hole and a reverse headstock, locking tuners. I just did like every kind of customizable thing you could do. It was too much. And I hated the Floyd Rose. I always wanted one. I'd played a couple, never changed the strings on it before. That, if I would have changed the strings on a Floyd Rose before, I would have never gotten it on my Strat. And it was horrible. I couldn't stand it, It's just like, especially when you're playing down here, like the stuff just gets in the way. My screen just went black here. There we go. Yeah, it was terrible. And I would like hit my hand and all the gear back here. Changing strings is an absolute nightmare. Now, listen, I'm sure if you've done it a billion times and you're super quick at it and, you don't cut yourself and all these things, but it's just too much for me, and I don't do dive bombs, all this stuff. Anyways, I learned a lot from that experience, and I prefer a more traditional Strat. And I should mention another thing. I put Graph Tech string saver saddles on here, and they are awesome. They're super cool. There's no string slippage. I don't really have a problem with breaking strings, but it's got like a little graphite slot that each string goes into, and just the sustain is incredible. It's just a lot better. I mean, I don't know if you can tell. I don't know. You probably can't tell, but anyways, I really like it a lot. And so that was another mod that I did. So yeah, I probably all in all spent about $1,500 after I had the work done and everything. But that's still really not bad for a guitar of this caliber, American-made Strat. As I was saying, yeah, I had a nice bird's eye maple neck on that parts caster, Warmoth parts caster, and I really like it. I miss it, so I'll make a parts caster again. I really like Warmoth parts. They're really good quality parts. They're super nice people. The options they have are cool. I'd really like to get a Strat that's kind of like reverse, so it's like this. You're kind of playing it like this. You can get a reverse headstock too. It's set up for right-handed playing, but it's just a reverse body. Joe Perry's kind of got one like that. It's got like a reverse Telecaster neck. I forget which boutique company makes it, but it looks cool. And I still want to try out those Mojo tones, so I'll get a set of those at some point. I just think they sound really cool, and I'd like to give them a shot. I've heard a lot of good reviews. I've seen a lot of good videos on YouTube, and I think I would like to get like an ash Strat body from Warmoth, and then a reverse Hendrix style maple neck off of online. Put in some Mojo tone pickups, and I think I'd like to do a kind of like a stop tail piece. No, not one of that. It's not going to be a trem. Well, it's not going to have a tremolo. It's going to be just regular string through body Strat. I think that would be really cool to check out. And I love a reverse headstock too on a Strat. I think those look super cool. And that's another thing I love about Stratocasters. There's so much cool stuff you can do with them, and you can mod them all day and just kind of put your own cool little spin on them. And there's so many cool aftermarket companies that are doing great stuff, and even Fender's doing fantastic stuff. I'm so impressed with these pickups. Like, honestly, I took a chance and never tried it before, and I just love the single coil sound. There's no noise. That's perfect. I'm so annoyed by, I love single coils, but I'm just kind of annoyed by the 60 cycle hum. I know that's not very traditional of me, and like a lot of Strat purists will say that's just part of it, but it just bugs me, and it kind of gets in the way of the playing. And there's so much great technology out there, especially by Fender, that makes great sounding single coil pickups, and they're hum free. That's fantastic. And for those guys and girls out there that play with a lot of gain, I'm not a super gainy guy, but that can be a big problem. But there's lots of great options out there, fantastic options out there. Some noiseless single coils that I have played, Seymour Duncan's, they're pretty good. I've also played the DiMarzio area pickups. I think it was the full set, because I played an Ibanez Fireman, and that guitar it's far out, man. It's pretty far out. But they sound great. They really sound great. And DiMarzios are really affordable too, and pretty good quality. Some people don't dig them, but a lot of people do. And I'm going to experiment with those in the future. And I'm going to do another video where I talk about pickups. I know I've already talked about pickups quite a bit, and so I'm not going to talk about them anymore. And I'm going to wrap up the video here. But yeah, this is my Fender Stratocaster. I really dig it. When I was younger, well, still now, I was a big Steve Ray Vaughan fan, and also David Gilmour, and they're Strat players, and I wanted to, so I had to have a Strat, I had to have one. My very first, not my first electric guitar, but my first real electric guitar was for my 16th birthday. My parents got me Mexican Sunburst Strat, and I had that guitar for years. I had it for a long time. And even then, I was just like in the late 90s. I was like 16 years old. I modded it. I put some Texas Special pickups and Seymour Duncan Hot Rail in there. And, it was just kind of figuring out what I liked on a guitar. And I loved the Strat and I loved the maple neck. And that had the traditional headstock on it. And I liked it, but I always dreamed about having like an American made one with a large headstock, like 70s style. And now I got one at a really good price. So this is my Fender American Performer Stratocaster. All right. Have a good day, everyone.